This is Fred Beck from Fred Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Source. I'm very lucky, joined by once again Keemstar. Keem, it's nice to see you again, mate. How are you?
Dude, there's a lot of news going on, right, Fred? I mean, the whole world's being turned upside down.
My last few days have been quite busy actually. I'm loading quite a few videos. But before we go into this, though, Keem, I just want to check up on you. How have you been? Before we talk about the YouTube stuff, how are you as a person? How have you been?
Oh, I've been great. I'll spend an hour on Twitter a day. I'll spend probably about 3 hours behind the scenes talking to people about this influencer boxing stuff, sources and whatnot. And the rest of the time, I'm just being retired old man, like working in the woods, chopping wood, stacking wood, building ATV trails and stuff like that. So I've been great.
Yeah, it does sound like quite an exciting life. When
Yeah,
do you think you're going to get to the time where, wait, how old are you? 40?
I'm 40.
Okay, that's not even that old. When do you think you get to the age where you're like, okay, I want to kind of step away from this now and kind of only do it once or twice a week and kind of relax in a sun lounger on the beach in Hawaii, something like that?
I've been kind of relaxing now. I've been kind of slacking. Like I feel a little embarrassed because I feel like I could be working harder, but I'm just enjoying life.
As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. But let's just go straight into it. Yeah, the last few days have been quite hectic. We'll go all the way back to when Alex Wasabi pulled out. What I really want to know is where did you get these sources from? And do they know if they talk to you, do they know you're gonna leak it?
Of course. I mean, look, I've broken every major story in influencer boxing. I broke the story that Tommy Fury was pulling out the first time, a good, I want to say 8 hours before anyone else.
Hmm.
Um, Jake Paul's opponents, all that stuff. So yeah, people reach out to me and I know everybody in this industry, in the influencer boxing space, behind the scenes, trainers, people at the gym, managers and whatnot. And people don't lie to me. I don't really get BS information ever. I have to sometimes, the people that are giving me information are wrong and I have to double check, and because they were told wrong, word of mouth type of thing. But you know if you want to be successful in this business, you have to have sources, and you can never out your sources.
That's been my next question. Can you tell me any of your sources or tell all the people? I have no idea how many views it's gonna get, but I was about to say, can you tell me any of your sources? So you can never
Well,
tell the sources,
people
but
people close to Alex Wasabi's camp were telling me that he was sick, that
mm,
he was out of the gym for like a week. Um, and because he was getting sick, allegedly it wasn't COVID. They were doing COVID tests. It wasn't COVID. So I heard that it was concussions. I also had another source saying that he's out from a broken hand. And if you've seen even Austin McBroom posting on social media, he said, I'm surprised they're talking about concussions. Why don't you tell them the real reason why you bailed out? So I don't know. Maybe the broken hand theory has some weight to it. I don't know what happened with Alex Wasabi, but it seems like everyone on an official matter is saying concussions.
mm,
But yeah.
yeah, certainly. How many? So obviously his camp will be quite small. Then I guess you'll have a few people that you were talking to, the ones kind of on the outskirts of the camp. So then the next step, obviously it was only a day or day and a half later after Alex Wasabi was officially pulled out. They announced that his next opponent will be Swarms. Had you heard of Swarms before this?
Yeah, because Swarms was always the backup. I've known about
Mm.
Swarms for like months, because Swarms has always been the backup for KSI. And
Can you reveal any of the other backups? Yes.
uh no, I don't think that's even remotely necessary. Because um if something happens to Swarms, they have to be able to like make a wave again. So I don't want to leak that on them. But I've known about Swarms for months. So Swarms actually has been training for quite some time in case Alex Wasabi backed out. In fact, JJ, KSI, he was very convinced that Alex Wasabi was never going to take this fight. And that's why he went above and beyond to make sure you had backups, because with Jake Paul's event being canceled twice, with Austin McBroom versus Gibb being canceled, you know, all the pressure was on KSI to make sure his event happens no matter what. So I see the fans getting upset and the fans getting mad because of swarms and all that. But it's like, guys, influencer boxing fans, you lost Jake Paul versus Fury. You lost Jake Paul versus Hassim. You lost Gibb versus Austin McBroom. There is no way that you want to lose this pay-per-view as well. There's no way anyone would want that. Like, I don't care if KSI is fighting Ronald McDonald. Like, I don't care. Like, we need an event. We've been robbed so many times. We need a boxing event.
And that's certainly true. I'm quite happy that the fight is still taking place on the same date, because then if it gets delayed a month, then the whole thing slows down. And all these fighters, we saw Pat as an example. I went down and I did a little bit of training with him only a few weeks ago. Then obviously they'd have to remove the whole camp, move the whole schedule, change things around, bring new sparring in. It'll be a whole different ball game then.
And look, Jake Paul is talking crap, right? He's like, well, you know, you should cancel, you should give a refund and all this other stuff. And I get it, because those two have to hate on each other. But where Jake Paul is wrong is that KSI's event still survives in my sphere. All right. I've been on the internet for 15 years. I run Dromler. I don't just talk about influencer boxing news. I talk about the beauty community. I talk about anything that's going on online. All right. I'm not a hardcore boxing person. I'm an entertainment person. All right. So it doesn't matter that KSI is, you know, not fighting Al Sabi anymore, because we have Fuzi versus Deji. We have King Kenny versus Sensei. We got Temper versus Slim.
Is that announced yet? Do you know when that'll be announced?
No, I'm an idiot and I leaked that. I got in trouble for that. On accident. I didn't do it on purpose. I just did it on accident with a tweet. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there. Last I heard, the contract isn't signed, but that's pretty much who it's going to be, I think. But yeah, it's like, dude, Sam Hyde, for the first time, we're finally going to see him boxing. There's that whole story with iDubbbz and all that, and you know, Sam Hyde being banned from influencer boxing, or them trying to ban him, and now he's getting an opportunity on one of the biggest stages ever. It's like, dude, when Jake Paul's opponent pulls out, his event is dead. It's just dead. There's no reason to buy the tickets anymore from my side of the internet, from the entertainment side, because we don't know any of these people on Jake Paul undercards. You know, I went and saw Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 2, and I was bored. You know, like, I'm not like a boxing fan. I'm an influencer boxing fan. There's a clear difference. So I'm bored the entire night until Jake Paul knocks out Tyron Woodley. And then I'm so glad that, you know, I got to witness that moment. So I think that's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, so glad you didn't turn the TV off just for a knockout, because what a knockout that really was. And now the opponents change to Swarms. Will KSI be versus Swarms? Will that be a pro fight?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I know there's not. Actually, hold up. The way I think Misfits has set up all their fights is that they're not pro fights. They're in a different category where you don't have to wear headgear. You don't have to, they're not appealing to the whole pro thing. They're creating their own sport. Misfits boxing is creating their own sport, their own league, their own rules. You know, all these rules come from the establishment boxing community, and they're completely abandoning them and doing their own thing.
Okay, that's quite interesting then. And the ounces, the glove ounces will be 10 ounces, won't they?
Mams Taylor just tweeted out. Let's pull it up because I haven't seen it in a little bit, but he just tweeted like an hour ago. 1 minute. All right. So Mams Taylor tweeted out, the fight will be no headgear. The fight will be 10-ounce gloves. That's official. Do not believe anything else. It's a malicious lie designed to prevent sales.
Wow.
So there you have it.
But the thing about that, this is keen though. Obviously, they said Swarms can come in 20 pounds overweight. Will that still be for the cruiserweight title, the cruiserweight misfits title then?
I think so. Because they're gonna want I would assume that they want JJ to hold a belt, you know.
Mm.
It's JJ's company, right? Like I would assume they would want JJ to hold a belt. Yeah.
Okay. And then the final step of the story is when KSI and Jake Paul verbally agreed to fight next year, Wembley Stadium, which would be huge. I always thought Wembley would be the perfect arena to have it in, or stadium to have it in. Why is everyone getting so happy about this fight? I'm a big fan myself, and I would love to see it happen. But anyone can verbally agree anything they like. When it comes down to the contract and the nitty-gritty stuff, so many fights have been cancelled, so many fights have been pulled out. Why is everyone getting so pleased that they verbally announced it?
Because I mean, I don't know what I can say on here, but I'm just going to say it anyways. The reason why people are so excited is because Jake Paul is not a pussy, and because KSI is not a pussy. Either one of these can get an injury, a broken leg, and they'll be like, I'm fighting. I'm going to fight. I'll figure it out. Like they're not, these two are warriors. They're absolute warriors. And this fight 100% is happening. There is so much pressure from the entire globe for these two to fight. They're fighting in 2023. It is absolutely happening. There is no way this is ever going to get canceled. It's happening in 2023. And it's like, dude, when Jake Paul, excuse me, when KSI beat Joe Weller and he stood there on the mic, you know, True Jordy was up there interviewing him after the match. And he said, I want to box the Pauls, any of the Pauls. You know, when he said that, he was talking to Jake. He had no intentions of fighting Logan Paul. He didn't want to fight Logan Paul. He wanted Jake. He's always wanted Jake. And, you know, Jake at the time wanted nothing to do with it. Absolutely wanted nothing to do with it. And that's why he threw Logan at KSI. And Jake went after Deji, but then Jake fell in love with it, you know, got his confidence up, got his skills up. So this has been in the making since what, 2017. And here we are 5 years later. It'll be 6 years later when it actually goes down. This is one of those things that the universe is going to make happen no matter what.
Do you think there's anything stopping this fight from happening?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
So you don't think Jake Paul will take any fights before it?
He might. It won't be anyone impressive. But he might. Yeah, he absolutely might.
Because the name that was thrown out there, I think yesterday, the Hype Punch Promotions was pushing was Andrew Tate. Do you think it's more likely that Andrew Tate fights Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
I think everyone wants to see Jake versus Andrew Tate. I think Logan Paul versus Andrew Tate just doesn't have it. It's not the same.
Is that because Jake Paul would talk more trash and Logan's more the kind of held back one, more maybe might come across as more humble one?
Andrew Tate is a killer, right? Jake Paul was a killer. Logan Paul is an entertainer, a lover, you know, and an entertainer. You know, it won't be as good. And look, Logan Paul has amazing skills. He is a fucking athlete. The shit that he is doing in the WWE is like insane. You don't just go and you know be the celebrity guest appearance at the WWE and then all of a sudden you could do all the moves. Like he is fucking a gifted athlete. And that's why I feel like people need to start giving KSI some credit because KSI had no business in beating Logan Paul. Like he had no business to win. Same thing with Jake. You know, they need to give him credit for knocking out Tyron Woodley. But at the end of the day, the internet absolutely wants Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul. Logan Paul, okay, we'll watch it. But Jake Paul is what we want.
I was about to ask a question saying what's bigger, KSI versus Jake Paul, Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul. I personally think KSI is a much bigger fight, but Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul still would break the internet. TikTok would be insane after that.
Absolutely. Obviously KSI versus Jake Paul is the biggest fight on the globe. It's the biggest fight on the fucking globe. Who's has the record for boxing pay-per-views? Is it Mayweather and Pacquiao?
Yes, it's Mayweather's Pacquiao, is correct.
And how many pay-per-views is it?
Oh, it says on TalkSport 4.6.
4.6.
I
Okay.
don't know if I believe 4.6.
So look, I could tell you this. All right. Jake Paul versus KSI won't get 4.6, but it is very possible to get 3 million pay-per-views on that fight. It is so
that price
possible.
around £20?
Yeah. It wouldn't be the typical 60 that we see, or 50 that we've seen versus Mayweather and Pacquiao. But yeah, like, it's very, very doable to get 3 million pay-per-views. I don't think people understand, like, this is one of those things that you have to witness. If you're a fan of this community, if you know who Jake Paul is, if you know who KSI is, if you know who they both are, right? Not just individually, just know one, but if you know both of them, you have to witness this. This is history. This is such a big event.
No, that certainly is. And Wembley, it's got to be Wembley Stadium. What's that? 80,000-90,000 you fit in there. That'd be pretty insane. But
that will sell out. That will,
yeah, 100% that'll sell out. But do you think they'll do a press tour like they did for Mayweather versus McGregor? They'll kind of go to lots of different cities throughout the world and do
absolutely. They would be foolish not to. And I think you were asking me before we started this interview, well, is that the end of influencer boxing? No, it's not. What needs to happen is somebody in the influencer boxing space needs to make noise. I go to my guy, Alex, who runs Happy Punch Instagram. And I say to him, I'm like, Alex, you got to stop covering Jake Paul. Well, I'm just telling him, like, there's other influencer boxers that we need to cover. Like, Alex, like, come on, stop covering Jake Paul. But it's not really Alex's fault, because Jake Paul makes news every single day. Jake Paul is posting on Instagram. He's posting on Twitter. He's talking shit. He's baiting collaborations with either Dana White or whoever, right? He's just constantly making the news. And KSI is the same way. He's doing the same thing, right? You got KSI, you got Jake Paul, you got Logan Paul, and you got Bryce Hall, that know how to promote their fights, that make news. All right. And then you have all these other influencer boxers, like Gibb's a prime example. People fucking love Gib, but where's Gib on social media? Where is he on YouTube? Where is he on Twitter? Where is he on Instagram? These people, they come from the entertainment space. They got boxing opportunities, not because they're boxers, but because they're entertainers. And then once they start going to the gym, I'm just going to live in this gym. I'm a boxer. They believe that they're fucking a boxer, and that's all they do. And they forget, whoa, you got to entertain. You got to be an entertainer. You got to sell your fight. You got to promote your fight. So what we're going to start seeing over the next year is that influencer boxers that are still entertaining, they're still acting like Jake Paul, KSI. They're out there promoting, they're out there talking shit. Those guys are going to start rise to the top, because after we see Jake Paul versus KSI, one of those guys is never going to box again. I can't.
Well, it's going to be a rematch. I suppose there must be a rematch there, right?
There'd be a rematch. This is my predictions on Jake Paul versus KSI, to be honest. I think that
come on, take one.
I think that one of them is going to win, and then the other one is going to win, and we're going to see Jake Paul versus KSI 3. I think
if that's what's called a rubber match, that's going to have.
Yeah, I think that's definitely happening.
I think that one of them's going to win and the other one's going to win. Yeah, I guess that's a fair prediction to make. But let's talk about Happy Punch promotions. Obviously, you're in the hat right now. What do you got coming up for yourself at Happy Punch?
As far as the merch goes,
as far as merch, fighters, let's start with merch though. Can I get some merch, team?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're going to be at this event August 27th, right?
Yeah, I'll be there all fight week. Everything.
Yeah, we'll make sure we put a hat on you, especially during your interviews. No, yeah, we got merch coming out. We have like the greatest team ever. You know, we got Sensei, Sol Poppy, Dean the Great, Sam Hyde. We got Brandon Buckingham, Sia Sunday, just overflow, Gideon. Like our team is insane. And then we also have Fuzi. On this
Speed.
card,
What's happening to speed?
Speed is like in Speed's kind of up in the air. All right.
Yeah.
We signed Speed, and then Speed has been focusing on his career. So it's like we don't really want to claim Speed anymore. We didn't kick him or anything. He's not out, but he's not really in, if that makes sense. He's focused on his career. He's only doing that stuff. So we're just like, we just don't include him anymore. Unless, you know, he makes it apparent that he is going to do this boxing stuff. Because look, dude, Speed is so gifted as an entertainer, and his career is an all-time high. He's breaking all kinds of records. It doesn't really even make sense for him to just jump into a boxing ring right away. So we're just kind of letting him do his own thing. And we just stopped claiming him because, you know, he's been so inactive over on Happy Punch that we get it. We totally get it and understand it. We just want to support him any way we can.
Did you see he reacted to our clip? I put a TikTok out of you saying his age. Did you see he reacted to that on the stream?
He did, of saying his age. I didn't see that.
I put a TikTok. I think I did like 800,000 on TikTok, and then Speed reacted to it on his stream, and he was like, "Chat, I'm 17." Oh no, he didn't say that. He was like, "Chat, I'm 19 years old." He played it, you know, like Speed is 17 years old. He's like, "I taught a key, man. Did he ever call you?" Because he said he's gonna.
No, he didn't call me. No, he's 17. He's gonna be 18 though, very soon, in a couple months.
Is there anyone else you got in mind to sign Happy Punch? Anyone else on the horizon at all?
Honestly, not right now. I feel like our team is so stacked. I can't wait to see how our guys do. I mean, think about this. It's the first influencer card since Social Gloves. We have Dean the Great on the card. We have Salt Poppy on the card. We have Sam Hyde, Face Sensei, Fuzi. All right. And then I'm commentating. I mean, that's 6 different people. Oh, Gideon's commentating as well. That's 7 different people from Happy Punch involved in this event. It's a huge win for us. So I want to see, you know, how we do, how many W's we walk away with in this event. If all our guys win, I don't really feel like there's pressure to add anybody new to the team, but we're always looking for people that we actually believe in. And the one thing I will say about the guys that we've added on the team is most of them, for the most part, are entertainers. You know, the funniest thing about Face Sensei, here's an exclusive for you, is we signed Face Sensei into Happy Punch, and his job was to do basically what he did with KSI, you know, help him train, you know, give him a little bit of advice, because Face Sensei is an experienced fighter. So we signed Face Sensei to help our guys and support our guys. He loves the role. You know, he's the older guy in the group that has the experience, that can give tips and whatnot.
He's the dad of the group, Akeem. He's the dad of the group.
The dad of the group. That's what Face Sensei came in to do for Happy Punch. A week later, I call Face Sensei and I say, "Hey, listen, you're going to have to fight Kenny." He's like, "Shut the fuck." I go, "Listen, I need you to fight Kenny." He's like, "Are you serious?" So, yeah, I mean, we got so lucky to bring Sensei in at that time. And then, you know, he gets this major opportunity.
Was that hard signing Face Sensei? Because he's been linked to Face fan as well.
No, not at all. I mean, shit, I'm Phase too, you know, like I've been Phase for many years. It's like he's doing 2 things, you know. He's in Phase and he's in Happy Punch, and you know, we had these conversations at the very beginning. Private, he wouldn't. I don't leak private conversations, but he would not care that I say this, so I'm going to say it. He goes, I just want you to know that I can't leave FaZe Cam. I'm like, what are you talking? I go, I'm not leaving FaZe. Like, what are you saying? Like, no, we're not. You know, that's not even a thing. It's just, you know, Happy Punch is completely separate.
Okay.
And I hope, and actually, I hope one day that Happy Punch and FaZe can do some sort of collaboration on merch or something, because I think that would be so fucking cool. Because you know me, I always wear a FaZe hat. Well, now I'm wearing Happy Punch hats, and
I like the design though. It's nice and simple, isn't it? The design of that hat.
thank you. I wish there was a FaZe logo here too.
It is clean how I think it looks clean how it is though. It looks nice.
Yeah.
And all your fighters, they're going to have the Happy Punch logo on their shorts as well.
Yeah. I mean, we got all kinds of gear. I'm really excited about getting to the UK just so I can take team pictures, you know, because we're all over the fucking world. But I gotta run, Fred, because I gotta get my video up today. So
Keem, it's always good talking to you. Hopefully I'll see you in the UK with some merchandise as well. A nice t-shirt, a jumper, cap. That'd be very nice, Keem.
Keep up the good work, Fred.
That's it. It's nice to talk to you again, Keem. Hopefully I'll see you in person in the event. Thanks for your time, mate.
See you, Fred.